Story time of how I went blind on my prom night. I wake up, everything's normal. Go to take pictures, everything's normal. I'm just telling people I have a headache. I'm walking in Alabama heat. I have a headache. Like, I don't know what's going on. I haven't eaten, have a headache. Everything's normal. Go to prom, still have the headache. Me and my friends had a party bus, still have the headache. I go to sleep with the headache. I wake up the next morning. Open my eyes. I cannot see. Can't see a thing. I just so managed to have like enough vision to make it like to my bathroom and kind of navigate around the house. But I'm absolutely terrified. I'm telling my dad, he's like, okay, we can go to the eye doctor. Couldn't go to the eye doctor that day because it was a Sunday. The next day just so happened to be my birthday. So now it's my birthday. We go to the eye doctor. They do an eye test. Eye doctor tells me, yeah, you're not lying, but we really don't know what it is. You could have cancer. You could just be dying. You could be dying. So they like go to the eye specialist. So we have to go to a completely different office. We go to the eye specialist. They tell me the same thing. Yeah, girl, you could be dying. So you need to go to the ER like right now. Mind you, this is my birthday, so I'm just now turning 18. So everybody's kind of freaking out because it's kind of like, what could be happening? We go to the ER. They do all these tests, MRI, CAT scan. I have this condition with my heart, so they had to send a tube down my throat to look into my heart. Nothing comes back. So at this point, they're about to admit me to the hospital. And my mom, she's like, oh, like, do you have your birth control on you? Make sure you take your birth control. We all know where this is going. At least girls do. So all in all, yes, they ruled that it was my birth control. My birth control caused a blood clot to form in my brain, in an area of my brain that controlled eyesight. So because no blood could get to that area of my brain that controlled eyesight, I went blind, which they basically called a mini stroke. So I had a stroke at 17 years old. And at this point, there was nothing that we could do about it. I didn't have surgery. The doctors basically told me that they don't know if my sight would ever come back. So I sat in the hospital for a week. Then I caught pneumonia. So I had to sit in the hospital again. Did I mention it was my birthday? Because, yeah. So boom, I finally get out the hospital. I can't really tell you guys like when exactly my sight came back. It was kind of like a gradual thing. There still are times where I kind of look and my sight kind of isn't really there. They told me that the damage would always kind of be there permanently. So yeah, y'all, don't get birth control.
All right, guys, I'm going to tell you exactly how I lost the vision in my left eye. I'm going to get straight to it, let you know what I was diagnosed with, how I got it, and hopefully how you can prevent it. So this time last year, I was diagnosed with a super rare parasite called acanthamoeba. It is, I think it happens to maybe 100 people globally a year. So the chances of you getting it are slim, but they are obviously not zero. And I got it just from rinsing my contact case in tap water. So if you wear contact lenses, please be careful. Listen to your eye doctor. I know a bunch of people who neglect their lenses even after what I'm experiencing, which is insane to me. They sleep in them. They use them way over the amount that they're supposed to. They shower in them, swim in them. It can get serious pretty quick. I lost my vision within weeks, and the road to recovery has been insane. I've had to completely stop my life. I had moved away from my hometown, was living in Florida. I should have known nothing good comes from Florida. But anyway, I had to return home, and I've been here over a year. I haven't been able to work. But yeah, if you have contacts, please don't neglect them. Change them out. Don't sleep in them. My glasses are dirty. Ignore that. I mean, it doesn't matter because I can't see out of that side. But yeah, just take care of your contacts, guys.
This is the story on how I almost went blind from lash extensions. So one of my friends recommended me to this girl that apparently was really good, really careful, whatever. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a try. Well, that girl was not there that day, so I got another girl that took her place. Everything's good, she does my lashes, and I leave. Later that night, I kind of feel like irritation to my eye, but I don't really think anything of it. I'm like, oh, it's just lash extensions, not a big deal. The next day, we go to a brunch, and the sun is so bright that I'm literally crying. And I have sensitive eyes, so I didn't really think much of it, but it had never been this bad. So this was later that night. Most of my lashes were almost gone at this point. I was crying excessively. I was switching between cold rags and hot rags, just trying to ease the pain a little bit, but nothing was working. So here's a picture when I looked in the mirror. My eye, a little irritated. When I get to the doctor, he tells me, let me take a look at your eye, and he starts scraping my eye. Of course, he numbed it, so I didn't feel anything, but the pain was still horrible due to the fact that there was something in my eyeball. So this is the picture that I like to show everyone because this showcases what was really in my eye. He gave me 4 different eye drops to take in the amount of time that I was out of work, which was roughly 6 weeks. When I tell you that these eye drops burned my eye to the point where it was excruciating pain, like I can't even describe it. For the very first week that this bacteria was in my eye, I wasn't allowed to sleep. The doctor told me sleep for 45 minutes, take the eye drops, go back to sleep, wake up, repeat. So I was sleeping for 45 minutes, waking up, and then was allowed to go back to sleep for 45 more minutes, and then had to wake up again. It was horrible. So the bacteria that was in my eye is a big, long name that starts with a P. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Here's some more pictures just showing how bad my eye was. And I'm definitely not saying this to hate on lash extensions or to even hate on the girl. I'm sure she had no idea that this bacteria was on her. I mean, how could you know? The doctor told me that I only had a 10% chance of keeping my eyesight. So the fact that I'm in a car driving and have complete vision in my eye is unreal. I do have a little bit of blurriness in this eye, but this eye has taken over and I see completely fine. So I say all of this to say, be careful what you do to your eyes. If you get lash extensions, take that extra step. Ask them to wash their hands again. Ask them to clean their products again just to be safe. Because you never know, you could have lost your eyesight from it. So be careful.
Story time. So when I was 18, I was invited to a party. And the night of the party, I went and picked everybody up. We all went into the party together. Me and one of the girls, we decided that the party was boring. It wasn't all that. It wasn't our type of party. So we went to my car and we waited for her dad to come and pick her up. And while we were waiting, we heard gunshots. And, you know, for me, like, I never heard a gunshot. So I was scared. And she ducked and I froze. And because I froze, I was the one who ended up getting shot. And the guy, before he shot me, he was like, he ran across the parking lot. And then he stopped right in front of my car. And then he pointed the gun at me. It was dark out, so, you know, he couldn't see. So when I got shot, I honestly didn't know that I got shot. I just heard a really loud ringing because I got shot in the car. So I guess it's like a 1,000 times louder. Literally, it sounded like a bunch of dumpsters were surrounded around my car and they all just dropped at the same time. It was so loud. But my friend, she was screaming so loud, and I just remember trying to catch my blood, and it was just like a big puddle of blood in my lap, and I just had to like calm myself because literally everybody around me was panicking. So yeah, I just had to calm myself. We waited for the police to come and the ambulance and everything, and they flew me out to the hospital. And from the hospital, actually from the helicopter, I actually started blacking out and I didn't remember some of the stuff. But when I got to the hospital, they started asking me a lot of questions, and then like I blacked out a few times, so I don't remember a lot of stuff. I just remember them asking me questions about who they should call and stuff, and what's my number. And when I was in the hospital, I was put on life support, and all I know is when I woke up, my family was surrounding me, and then like I just couldn't stay up. I just kept falling back asleep or passing out or whatever. And when I finally was able to stay up, my family, my sisters and my dad, everybody was there. And I remember touching my head and all my hair was gone. It made me want to cry so bad because everybody knows I love my hair. And then my dad, he didn't want me to look into the mirror because like I just didn't look the same. Like my eye was swollen literally. So when I was in the hospital and I finally looked in the mirror, it was just like, holy shit. My face was so swollen, literally, like it was swollen. And then this eye was, they had to close it shut because I had so much surgery done. And it was an experience. I don't wish it on nobody. Literally, like it was like I felt so ugly afterwards, and it was just like I had to keep my cool because I knew everybody else around me was like freaking out, literally. So it was just like, for me, I had to keep my cool so everybody else would be cool about everything. But in the inside, I was like fuming, literally. Like I didn't know how to feel. I felt so many different emotions. Like I was angry, I was sad, I was happy that I was still alive. It was just so much. And I just really don't wish it on anybody. So when I left the hospital, I had to do my own therapy because my mouth wouldn't open up that wide. So I had to put popsicle sticks in my mouth every day until it opened back up. And I had to get fitted for my prosthetic eye, which was an experience because that I didn't even know about prosthetic eyes, honestly. And yeah, I got fitted for my eye, and it was weird for me because like I said, I never knew about prosthetic eyes. And then it's like I felt so ugly because like I'm cockeyed now, like, you know. And for me, like I was never like, I didn't have any of these flaws, so these flaws were new to me. So it took a really long time for me to get comfortable with myself again. Like it literally took years for me to get comfortable and used to it. Like it took me it's 2021 and I just now showing my face. I had to readjust to life. My life was never the same after, literally. Like driving is just completely different. Like I feel like I literally have to turn my whole body just to make sure there's no cars on the sides or whatever. I actually got a new car, and like I'm thankful because now it has the lane departures and stuff, you know. Technology is amazing. And I definitely faced like many issues, like mentally. Like I went through so much, and it was just like I'm just very thankful for my family and my support system because they have been there from day one, and I love them so much for being there. Like there's not enough words to explain how thankful I am for them.